Good morning, students. So today's lecture will be about fading in wireless communication. Okay. So we will study the basics of fading, that how many types of fadings are there, and we will differentiate between the different types of fading. Okay. So in case you have any doubt, you can put your doubt in the chat section. So whenever signal travels in a wireless path or in a wireless medium, there will be losses. Okay, the losses can be due to path loss. Signal is going to lose energy or power while it is traveling. Okay, the path loss is very less in a copper medium, but when you are transmitting the signal in a wireless medium, the loss will be significant. So we term it as path loss. Okay, also different types of losses can be because of the huge building that comes in between. Okay, so if you are moving in a car in a very narrow street with covered by huge buildings, what is going to happen? There is a possibility that signal may not be able to reach your receiver. So because of the huge building, there is a fading. Okay, now other fading can be when signal while it is propagating, a building comes in between, due to which scattering, diffraction, or reflection may take place. Okay, because of this phenomena, the signal path will be converted into multipath. Means the transmitted signal was in a single path, but because of the obstructions in between, the signal are converted into multipath. Due to this multipath propagation, when signal reaches at the receiver, there will be constructive and destructive interference between all the multipath components. So as you all know, whenever there is a constructive interference, means the highs of the two or more signal overlaps, then we will get a good signal. And whenever we have a destructive interference between the multipath components, there will be reduction in the power of the signal. So there will be fluctuation that will also contribute to fading. So in this session, we will discuss about different types of fading. And in the upcoming session, we will go into the mathematical model of fading. So this session will be the basic one, and we will just see how many types of fading are there, and we will not go into the mathematics. Okay, or mathematical equations. So fading channel can cause fading. So fading channel is usually wireless medium. So two types of fading is present. First is large scale fading, and another one is small scale fading. Okay, so large scale fading is very simple. You do not need to understand any mathematical equation. However, for small scale fading, we need to study few mathematical conditions. Based on that mathematical condition, you will decide whether it is a multipath delay spread fading or Doppler spread fading. These mathematical conditions are mentioned here. Okay, if you see, all these are connected to small scale fading only. So we will study in detail about all these mathematical terminologies or conditions. But in today's session, our objective is to learn the difference between large scale and small scale fading, which is limited to only the theoretical portion. So now let us move to large scale fading. Large scale fading is due to the shadowing effect of a large size objects like buildings and mountains. As I have given you the example, Whenever fading occurs because of a huge building that comes in between, because of the shadow effect of that building, that particular area, there will be less signal. So the transmitted signal, we say that is being faded because huge building will absorb lot of power. Okay, so in fact, signal can pass the building through the walls, but while passing, it will transmit its energy to the walls of the building, and the signal energy will go down. Okay, signal energy or power. So such type of fading because of the huge building, we say is because of large scale fading. Now here the terminology large scale is very important. Large scale means we are talking about a distance which may range from 5 kilometer to hundreds of kilometers. Okay, or maybe 1 kilometer also can be considered as large scale fading. So imagine a signal. Now I will show you through the diagram. Now you can clearly see in this diagram this is an urban environment with a very huge building. Now the marks that you are seeing are the marks where there will be very less signal. Now imagine if there is a tower. If you transmit the signal, this building will come in between. Okay, so here there will be very less signal. See, there is no gap. Entire these three buildings have covered this area. Understood? So the signal to travel here to here to here to here is very difficult. So we say it is this type of fading is characterized by large scale, and you can see the length. This length may range to 1 kilometer also, 1 kilometer, 4 kilometer. Since this area is very large, we keep it in a category of large scale fading. Now, because of path loss also, the losses that occur due to path loss is also considered as large scale fading. Okay. Now, I think large scale fading is very much clear. It is because of the building, huge building, and due to the path loss. While signal is transmitting while traveling in a wireless medium for about 3 kilometer, 4 kilometer, automatically it will keep losing its energy. So we consider it as a large scale. Now let us understand what is small scale fading. It describes the rapid fluctuation of the amplitude phase of the multipart delays of a radio signal over a short period of time or a travel distance. Now notice here, since it is a small scale, travel distance is also very short. And this short travel distance is less than 1 meter. So if you notice, if you keep your mobile phone, okay, and you move it to say 5 centimeter, there is a possibility that signal may go down. So what type of fading it is? It is a small scale because you are measuring the signal strength at your mobile receiver over a distance of 5 centimeter only. So 5 centimeter means small. So that type of fading is considered as small scale fading. Small scale fading is caused by interference between two or more versions of the transmitted signal which arrive at the receiver at slightly different times. Now this also I will explain you. Now since, as I told you, a transmitted signal is converted into multipath signal due to buildings, trees, or whatever comes in between. Now these multipath components travel at a different distance. Okay, they all have a different distance, so they won't reach together now because light speed is same, but distance is different. So they will not reach together. So at the receiver, all these, once you overlap all these multipath components, there will be constructive interference, there will be destructive interference sometimes. So based on constructive and destructive interference, signal will vary. Now it is very important to note that even if you keep your mobile phone stationary, you will find that signal strength of your mobile is changing. What does it mean? It means that your channel is changing. Channel impulse response is changing. It is because of having trees around where the leaves are constantly moving. There are vehicles, there are fans that is moving. So automatically, when the signal reaches at your mobile phone, because of these moving parts, the constructive and destructive interference also keeps varying, and signal strength will also vary. This is the reason if you keep your mobile phone stationary, you will notice that still signal will vary. Okay. So these waves are called multipath waves and combine at the receiver antenna to give a resultant signal which can vary widely in the amplitude and phase. Now, if you remember in large scale fading, we never talk of multipath component. We only say a building will come in between, and due to which a portion will come where there will be less signal, and that portion will be the shadow of the building. Okay. So, but in small scale fading, we are talking about multipath wave. So, multipath wave is causing small scale fading. Now, look at this diagram. This diagram will give a clear idea what is small scale. Now, from this antenna, imagine that there is one building here. So, the single, or you can, even though if there is no building, the transmitted signal will hit, one of the signal component will hit this mountain and will be reflected back. Remember, the signal doesn't travel in a straight line, it travels in the form of wave. Okay, so whatever buildings are around, it will hit those buildings and take another path. Okay, so if this mobile phone is located here, then that wave can directly reach here. Okay, and that wave will be of very good strength. Understood? So since it is getting a direct wave with a very high strength, even though those other signals that are hitting other mountains and coming back and causing destructive interference will not make any difference because we get a direct path without any obstruction. So that signal will be having a very good power. So even the multipath waves, if they form destructive interference among themselves, it will not make any difference because we get a direct wave which is of very high power. Point is clear? But look at the position of the mobile now. There is no direct wave. Even this wave that blue color you are seeing is passing through the building. So the signal power will be very less. So we can assume that all four will be of very less power. Now this will cause fading definitely. Understood? If you remove this building, this will be such a high good quality signal because it is coming directly without any obstruction. So these will be negligible. It won't make any difference. But since in this case, a building is stopping this signal, blue will also become weak. So all four you are assuming to be weak. So now once they form constructive and destructive interference, there will be fluctuation. And also if you remember, if you are sitting in a drawing room of your house, there will be walls. So this condition can be easily compared. Now you can clearly see this is the direct wave. Since it is a direct wave, the magnitude is considered to be high. This is reflected wave, so magnitude is reduced. See, this is having high magnitude, this is having less magnitude. This is diffracted wave and this is reflected wave. So at the receiver, they all reach at a different time because you can clearly see the distance traveled by them is different. So once they reach at different times, they will form constructive or destructive interference. Understood? If this is your sinusoidal wave and this wave is delayed, so now once you overlap, there will be a problem. Understood? You can clearly see this is being delayed. This is starting from here, this is starting from here, this is starting from here, and this is starting from here. So there is a delay. Understood? So we can say that once you overlap delayed components, multipath components, they will have constructive and destructive interference, and the signal power will go down. And sometimes the power may go up also if all four combine such a way that constructive interference is being formed. In that case, signal power will be more. So this type of fading caused by multipath component is called small scale fading, and the fading caused by the huge buildings and path loss is considered to be large scale fading. Okay, hope you have understood the concept between large scale and small scale fading. Okay, now in the next class we will see types of small scale fading and the conditions. Okay, all these conditions we are going to study, and basic terminology like delay spread and all these terminology we will study in detail. Bandwidth of the channel, bandwidth of a signal, frequency selective. So we will jump into the details of small scale fading with all mathematical conditions. Thank you.